Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. I want to get one thing straight here. Okay? It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Before I even utter a fucking word about this pay-per-view tonight on this review, before I even say anything, I want to let you guys know, because I know there'll be some fucking idiot, some goon, some clown, some fucking shill in the comments on social media. Okay? This is WWE putting on a good pay-per-view. This was a good pay-per-view. There was some fantastic wrestling on this show. It's like I was watching WWE just go into this fucking show all guns blazing. I think we have a new fucking method to watching WWE pay-per-views. Go into it expecting nothing. Go into it expecting zero, with zero excitement. That way you're not disappointed. If it sucks, you didn't really give a shit. Don't set the bar too high with these fucking people. Set it extremely low. If this is a stovetop and you're making Kraft macaroni and cheese, or better yet, scrambled eggs. You never cook scrambled eggs. You never make scrambled eggs with the fucking burner turned up to 10. Okay? Any fucking idiot will realize that. You gotta cook it at a 2 or 3 setting. Easy. Alright? This was WWE with the burner turned up to 10. And they were cooking at high heat tonight. But before I even say anything, like I said, this is WWE putting on one good show. They should be putting on shows like this every fucking week. Every week. And I know there'll be some idiot in the comments. Oh, this is WWE turning over a new leaf. This is the start of a good trend. Scale it back, okay? This isn't NXT TakeOver. This isn't NXT. Alright? This is WWE putting on a good Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Remember what tomorrow is. It's Monday. It's Monday. The differences between tonight and tomorrow are vast. Please keep that in mind. Scale it back. Tonight, you got a beautiful fucking woman. She's laying naked, spread out across your bed, and she's saying, "Take me. Have your way with me. I'm ready." And you're standing there in your fucking boxes and your t-shirts and you're fucking pitching a tent before you even take your clothes off. That was tonight. Tomorrow, that sexy broad that's laying on your bed, just replace her with some fucking 700-pound slob and you going soft like Enzo Amore. That's the differences between Sunday night and Monday. Don't get too excited, okay? This is Monday Night Raw we're talking about. WWE put on a damn good show tonight, and it showcased some of the best wrestling on the main roster all year. And we all went into this show with zero excitement and zero expectations, and they delivered. Simple as that. I have no other words for you but that. Yes, this show was good, but it wasn't without its mistakes, and I'm going to pinpoint those mistakes to you today, hopefully. Hopefully. And I hope you guys seen the same thing that I was seeing. But this is your Hell in a Cell 2018 official review and results. Before I even get into this pay-per-view, I got a few things to say. Number one, if you guys missed off the script, my bread and butter, my podcast. It's live on the channel right now, parts 1 and 2. I didn't do a part 3 today. I'm saving that for tomorrow because we're here doing Hell in a Cell. So if you guys missed that, go and check that stuff out. Part 1 included pretty much one of the greatest rants in the history of the show. Same thing with Part 2. We talk about Evolution and dissect Evolution. Is the card that was leaked online real or is it fake? So please go and check that stuff out, man. Fantastic material. Very, very happy with Off the Script this weekend. Number 2, if you guys enjoy what you see here, I urge all of you to hit the thumbs up, and I urge all of you to discuss whatever you wanted to discuss down in the comments below, because YouTube pushes the video much better when you leave a like and when you comment. So I expect everybody watching this to at least hit the thumbs up and leave a comment down below. You will be helping me out by literally doing nothing. Thank you guys so very much for all that. Number 3, I want to thank my boy Sal Rex for the thumbnail, and I want to thank my buddy Mike, who is the layout master. He gave me the layout for this off the script Hell in a Cell 2018 review. So thank you guys so very much for all of that. Let's get on with the review for tonight's Hell in a Cell, man. We had a new women's champion crowned. We had Brock Lesnar returning. I don't think anybody in the fucking industry expected that at all. We all thought he had Daniel Cormier on the mind, and he's here tonight breaking down doors reminiscent of fucking Kane in the first ever Hell in a Cell. Plus, we had a fantastic Hell in a Cell match with Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. But like I said, as much as there was good, there was some bad on this particular show. Hell in a Cell took place from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. 2018 version of Hell in a Cell had a kickoff show. One match on the kickoff show. It was Rusev Day versus The New Day for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Now, going into this thing, I thought that the WWE was going to give us the Usos versus The New Day. And the reason why I thought that was because they had a fantastic Hell in a Cell match last year, and I thought WWE was going to kind of relive that again this year, but minus the cell. But WWE wanted to go a different route here. Instead of giving us the same old shit, they went with something new. And something new in the form of Rusev and Aiden English. Rusev Day. Now, WWE pushed Rusev Day pretty hard over the last couple of weeks. They won a round-robin tournament here with, or a triple threat, by way of triple threat. I don't know what it is with the triple threat matches on SmackDown Live in a tournament aspect, but they won a match. They went on to beat, I believe it was The Bar, for the spot in Hell in a Cell against The New Day. And I thought WWE giving it to Rusev Day was going to go all the way with Rusev Day. And I figured, you know what? This is a prime time. It's not the most ideal time for Rusev Day, but if you're going to push them all the way, then you might as well just give them the Tag Team Championships. The New Day have seen their day, and Rusev Day is still over, and I would love to see what they do as a unit as the Tag Team Champions. And WWE did not do that. WWE did not do that. Now, I mentioned on Off the Script how Rusev Day has kind of floundered. You know, WWE pushed them really hard in February. They pushed them around Elimination Chamber and around WrestleMania, and they were absolutely fucking hot. I still stand to this day that Rusev Day should have went into WrestleMania as a tag team and won the tag team championships at WrestleMania. That was the ideal moment for this pairing. After that, WWE's teased they break up with Aiden English and Rusev. They got Lana involved, Lana Day. It kind of took away from Rusev Day. They let Rusev go on his own for a kind of throwaway main event with AJ Styles. And then they got Rusev Day back together with Aiden English and Rusev. And now here we are. Now they're vying for the tag team championships again. Up, down, up, down. Really isn't helping them out in the end. But they're still over. It's just that they're not as over as they were earlier in the year. This was a great tag team match. This was a great tag team match. And the one thing about this show tonight, in general, is that the two tag team matches that we've seen, you know, I'll even include Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice, because that wasn't as bad as people thought it would be. You know, the tag team matches on this show really, really, really stepped it up. And I'm happy to see tag team wrestling like this on the main roster. We don't get this every week. We rarely get it ever. So when I see tag team wrestling like this, coming from The New Day and Rusev, the last 6 minutes of this match were fucking great. And the tag team title match for Monday Night Raw, which was phenomenal. I love to see tag team wrestling thriving. And we'll go over those two matches on the main roster, or on the main show, rather, in a little bit. But this match was fucking great. I don't like that it was the pre-show match. I don't like that The New Day and Rusev Day were wrestling to empty seats. especially with how good the match was. I just hate it. I absolutely fucking hate it. There's no reason why this match shouldn't have been on the main show. When it's like this, put it on the main show. You had 8 fucking matches in total, and the show went nearly 4 hours. You could have squeezed this one onto the main show so that both of these teams can wrestle in front of a full house for the tag team championships. I don't like that. The New Day doesn't deserve it. Rusev and Aiden English doesn't deserve it. And the tag team championships look like shit when it's wrestled in front of a half-empty fucking arena. That's just my honest opinion on that. But this match, outside of that, was a great pre-show match. Rusev Day loses. New Day retain the tag team championships here. The last 6 minutes of this were fantastic. Now, Rusev, towards the end of this thing, gets sent over the top rope. English tags in. Big E doesn't see it. Big E gets dumped over the top. English runs the ropes, leaps out, taking out Big E on the floor. English then just trying to rush to hopefully win the championships. He brings Big E back into the ring and drops Big E right on his face. I believe that was his finishing move. I don't know what he calls it, but he just dropped Big E on his face for a 2 count. English goes to the top. He goes for a senton. He rolls through it, slides. Kofi Kingston tags in, and then they hit a big double team move, which looked absolutely fucking brutal. It looked like a meteora off of Big E's shoulders by Kofi Kingston, and that looked fucking really bad. Aiden English landed really awkwardly on that, but he kicked out. And Kofi misses a Trouble in Paradise. Rusev then tags in, but Kofi dumps him over the top. Kofi is back on English, starts kicking him. Kofi runs the ropes, and Big E launches him onto Rusev, but Rusev kicks him out of the air. So at this point, I'm like, okay, come on. Rusev Day's got to do it. Rusev Day's going to do it. All this back and forth, all this excitement, Rusev Day's going to pull out the upset here. Big E gets sent face first into the apron. Woods on the outside goes to check on him. Kofi's all by himself. I'm hoping Rusev and or English can get this done. Rusev brings Kofi back into the ring to put him away, but English, I don't know if this was inadvertent or if this was planned, but English tags in. Rusev's looking at him, arguing with him, just fucking yelling at him. What are you doing? What are you doing? So there was a moment there where Rusev had his attention distracted, and he was paying attention to Aiden English, who inadvertently tagged himself in. So they have some words. Lana's on the outside. Camera shot of her looking frustrated. This leads English going to the top and hitting a diving headbutt, but Kofi kicks out. English then wants to just make up for it. I guess he wants to kind of make it up to Rusev. He applies the accolade on Kofi, and they had me. They bought me in, or they sold me rather, on this spot in this match. Aiden English had the accolade on Kofi. I thought Kofi was going to tap out, and I thought this was going to be the end of the match. Big E runs in, nails Rusev, or tries to nail Rusev rather, but Rusev nails him with a Machka kick. English keeps the accolade locked in, and like I said, I thought this was the end of the match. Accolade still applied on Kofi. Kofi breaks it up. Rusev begs to tag in. Rusev is begging Aiden English to tag in. Rusev runs in, but gets sent to the outside by Kofi. Kofi nails Trouble in Paradise on English for the win. Rusev tries to break it up, but Big E is holding Rusev on the outside from getting back into the ring to break up the tag. Trouble in Paradise is the win, and the New Day retain the tag team championships. Great fucking match. The only thing that I could say about this is that the breakup of Aiden English and Rusev is inevitable. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I really don't. I would have given these guys a run with the tag team championships. I know the New Day just won the tag team championships on the Tuesday following SummerSlam, but we need some new blood in the tag team division, man. We need some new blood to start rising to the top. Rusev Day would have been a perfect team to do that. Now the New Day is going to go on to Australia at the Super Showdown and go into a tag team title match with The Bar, which I expect that to be a great match as well. You know, the New Day, when they're put in these situations, they really come through. I don't mind the New Day being tag team champions. I'm just tired of seeing them as tag team champions. I don't mind them as tag team champions because I know what we're going to get. We're going to get a great fucking match when it comes down to a competitive atmosphere. But Rusev Day winning this match would have been fucking great. I think it really would have did San Antonio good. It would have did Rusev and Aiden English good. And what does the breakup of Rusev Day do for Aiden English? It does nothing. Rusev Day, right now, is better together than they are separate. Aiden English is going nowhere. Rusev is not going to factor into any title plans whatsoever. This would have been a perfect situation for them. I hope WWE doesn't break them up. I really don't. I hope they have another chance at the Tag Team Championships. They came close. It was just a mistake on Aiden English's part. And I hope Rusev doesn't say, fuck it, we're done. I hope that doesn't happen. So the New Day wins here. And Rusev Day come very, very close to winning the Tag Team Championships. But it's not enough. So we get to the main card. Clearly, we know one thing is different from every other Hell in a Cell that we've ever watched. Why was the cell red? Why did they change the color from a generic steel to a blood red? You want to know my thoughts on the red Hell in a Cell? I fucking hated it. I hated it. This is why I hated it. Number one, I hate change. This was a change that was not necessary. It didn't add anything to the structure or the show overall when we watched this match, or these matches on the show, being the first match with Orton and Hardy, and then the last match with Reigns and Strowman. It offered nothing. Nothing new. You know, mixed with the color scheme of everything else regarding this show. The banner, the colors, the lighting, everything was red. Everything was red. When I tell you that my eyes were very distracted and very blinded by some of the things on this show during these cell matches, I am not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating at all. The color of the cage should not have been changed. I don't care what WWE was going for. Apparently, Vince McMahon wanted to change this because he realized that WWE was celebrating 20 years of Hell in a Cell with Undertaker and Mick Foley. Now, according to WrestleVotes on Twitter, they are reporting that Vince forgot how old the match was, so he changed up the color scheme of the match itself. Like when Mania lost its Roman numerals, this is the same thing. It's just something new for Vince McMahon to go out and say, yeah, let's change it. Now, only time will tell if WWE will continue doing the red structure, but they did test for visibility earlier in the day, and they said, and it was reported that it was okay, but it was a distraction for a lot of us watching these Hell in a Cell matches. When the camera was inside the cell filming, it was okay. But when the cameras were on the outside, it was very distracting because you had the color scheme of everything else with this show kind of blending into the structure, and it was not a good thing for the eyes. So that is my feeling on the red structure. It's not something that I'm going to fucking sit here and piss on completely. It's just something that I think should have never been changed. There was no reason for the change. None whatsoever. And some are saying that the only reason WWE did that is because of the ending of the show where McIntyre and Ziggler, Ambrose and Rollins were on top of the cell. It popped a little bit more for that spot when all four guys were wearing dark colors on top of the red structure. Whatever the case may be, I am of the old school. It didn't need to change. Some things just don't need to change, okay? Metallica didn't need to change their sound coming out of the Black Album, you know? Or And Justice for All. Black Album was fucking fantastic, and then they fucking give us complete garbage like Load and Reload. And now, you try and change your sound, and you've never really reclaimed that old sound and that luster that you had back with And Justice for All. That's the best analogy I could use. Or Sepultura, coming out of Arise, right? What the fuck did they do? They went to Chaos AD, if you guys are old school metalheads. They went to Chaos AD, which was fucking fantastic. If they kept on that streak of giving me albums like Chaos AD, I would have been okay. Chaos AD is Sepultura's Black Album. Then they go to Roots. Roots was terrible. Roots was god-awful. And then Max Cavalera leaves Sepultura because his wife's a cunt. And then they go make Soulfly. And Soulfly's debut album was just nothing but a new metal bandwagon bullshit album. But it was better than Roots. And then they kind of changed their sound gradually because new metal started to die. I don't know why I'm talking about music, but you guys get my point. Don't change it if it's not necessary. This was not necessary. This was nothing but a fucking change that just Vince wanted to do just for the sake of giving him a fucking hard-on. Didn't need to be changed. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Show started off. I'm in some mood tonight, man. I really am. I had a 24-ounce fucking coffee before I recorded this, so if I'm a little jolted and wired, you guys know the reason. Hell in a Cell. Starting the fucking show off with a Hell in a Cell match. Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. I want to tell you guys something, man. I am a sucker for good storytelling. I am one of those guys that loves a good story between a babyface and a villain. And the reason why this match was so great was because this match was for nothing. This match had nothing on the line. There was no title on the line. There was no number one contendership on the line. These guys are inside a Hell in a Cell for absolutely no reason. The only reason why this match is in Hell in a Cell, and Joe Styles was not, was because Jeff Hardy requested, I want to be inside Hell in a Cell. I don't have many years remaining on my career. I want to get this match on my resume. And my God, when Jeff Hardy wakes up tomorrow morning and he thinks back to what happened on Sunday night, he's going to be one proud motherfucker. Randy Orton is a grade A level heel. And I absolutely fucking love it. This match was for absolutely nothing. And these guys gave you every fucking reason why they belonged inside Hell in a Cell. That's all I have to say about that. This match was fucking fantastic. This match reminded me of the New Day and the Usos in 2017 inside Hell in a Cell. We didn't really think that that match belonged inside Hell in a Cell, but at the end of that match, the match that they gave us, they lived up to the fucking prestige that was Hell in a Cell. These guys did the same thing, but this match had no titles on the line, whereas that was for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. I will say this. This match was not perfect. This match was not perfect. The ending, even though it was fucking crazy, it really didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, we seen chairs, we seen kendo sticks, we seen belts, we seen ladders, we seen it all. They used every fucking piece of hardware that you could find confined in a Hell in a Cell. But the end of this match is what fucking brought it down some points from being a near perfect opening match for this show. We all knew Jeff Hardy was going to do something crazy. We were waiting. And then when he sets a huge ladder up in the middle of the ring, and then right next to it is a little ladder, about half the size. He climbs up this ladder, and down below, there's a table spread out. And on top of the table is Randy Orton. Jeff Hardy was going to do his signature, I guess, springboard leg drop through the table on Randy Orton down below. But he realized that the height that he wanted to get was not going to work because the ceiling of the structure was too low. And if he jumped and got the height that he wanted, he might have risked hitting his head on top of the cage. So instead of doing that, he wanted to be a fucking gymnast for the evening, and he climbed the ceiling of the cage from the inside, and he pretended he was playing monkey bars at the local playground. So when he climbed and climbed and climbed and positioned himself right above Randy Orton, who was still laying down below on the table, he started to swing back and forth. Back and forth, like fucking Nathan Drake in Uncharted, trying to make a fucking jump to a cliff. This guy's swinging back and forth, and then all of a sudden, he's still swinging. We see Randy Orton roll off the fucking table about 6 seconds as this guy is still swinging. 6 seconds before this guy jumps, Randy Orton is off the table. Jeff Hardy jumps from the top of the ceiling, which has got to be fucking 18 feet high, 20 feet high, through the table, and he crashes and burns through the fucking table. Now, I don't know what happened here. I don't know if this was the planned ending. I don't know if there was a botch or if there was just a miscommunication on Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy's part. I'm not sure if this match was going to end that way. I really don't. Honestly, what I would have done and what I would have liked to see probably would have been the spot of the fucking year in all of WWE if it did happen. I was waiting for fucking Jeff Hardy to fall from the ceiling and Randy Orton be waiting down below after he gets off the fucking table and RKO Jeff Hardy through the fucking table as he's falling from the ceiling of the cage. That's what I thought was going to happen. Now, that would have been a tremendous ending. But the ending that we got, Randy Orton rolled off 6 seconds before Jeff Hardy took flight, and Jeff Hardy falls like a fucking dumbass, and Corey Graves is on commentary trying to sell it to us. Oh, Jeff Hardy slipped. Oh, Jeff Hardy lost his grip, and he fell down to his demise. I don't know what was supposed to happen there, but either way you looked at it, even in a botch, even if it was a botch, it looked fucking sickening as all hell. And at the end of this thing, the referee, and I really think they sold me on this. This is one of the few times they sold me. WWE did a great job at selling you on this show tonight in several different situations. The referee was calling for the cage to be raised. He was calling for extra help and EMTs and a gurney from the back. It looked like Jeff Hardy was legitimately hurt. He wasn't moving. He was fucking unconscious. The way he crashed through the table just sounded fucking absolutely sickening. So Randy Orton's like, the fuck you mean? No. Randy Orton's yelling at the referee, do your fucking job. I'm going to cover him, and you're going to pin 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to win the match. Randy Orton's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Raise the cage. No. Cover the motherfucker. So Randy Orton covers Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton wins the Hell in a Cell match. And then at the end of this thing, Jeff Hardy is lifted off the mat into a gurney, and he supposedly has injuries, internal injuries, and, you know, he's got, I don't know what Michael Cole stated later on in the show, but he was at a local medical facility for injuries. Now, that was the ending of the match. Now, I'm not going to sit here and shit on the match just for what could be a potential botch, because we won't know. We may find out a day or 2, 3 days after this pay-per-view is ended. Sure, Meltzer or Satin or somebody's going to report, you know, the real ending that should have been inside this opening match, Hell in a Cell between Orton and Hardy. But it was a fantastic fucking match, man. The other spot in this match that legitimately, and people were texting me, dude, that's normal. I got friends who do this on occasion, and they do it to pass the time, that they're playing with their own fucking ears and earlobes, who have the same kind of piercings. It doesn't hurt. Listen, I'm not into piercings like that. I don't really know anybody who wears, you know, earrings like that, expanding the earlobe. So, to someone like me who's watching this, as Randy Orton takes a fucking screwdriver, and he takes the earring out of Jeff Hardy's ear, and the hole that is exposed in his earlobe, he puts the screwdriver through the hole of his earlobe, and starts fucking twisting it as if he's fucking screwing in a nail in a wall. I mean, it may not hurt because it's dead skin, but to watch something like that visually in the match, absolutely fucking crazy. I mean, it might not hurt on Jeff Hardy's behalf, but for Randy Orton, the visual of that benefiting him is fucking ridiculous. You don't know what that does to the guy's fucking character as a sick, heinous fucking guy. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, man. And kudos to everybody in this match. The referee, the competitors, Orton and Hardy. Absolutely fantastic match to open this show. At this point, when this match was over, these two guys set the bar so fucking high on a pay-per-view that I had zero excitement for. So whatever came next was going to have a very difficult time following these two guys. That's all I have to say about that, man. But what a fucking opening. Definitely one of the best Hell in a Cell matches in recent memory, man. Those two guys went in this match with absolutely nothing. Nothing but a classic heel versus babyface feud. No titles. No #1 contendership. Nothing on the line. And these guys actually put on a Hell in a Cell match worthy of being inside Hell in a Cell. Kudos to both Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. Randy Orton wins this match as the EMTs cart Jeff Hardy away. Now, match order, to me, is very important. I think WWE did a great job with this pay-per-view outside of the Alexa Bliss-Ronda Rousey match. That match was god-awful, and that match should have been earlier in the show, being that the match was fucking terrible. But match order is important. Following that type of match, with those types of spots, and how hot that match was, and how great that match was, unexpectedly, I thought they were going to put on a good match. I didn't think they were going to put on that good of a match to open the show. But to put anything on after that, like I said, is going to have a very difficult time following what Hardy and Orton did. Becky Lynch and Charlotte, to me, was the perfect match to follow that, because we all love Becky, and we all want to see Becky win the championship. And the excitement of Becky possibly winning the championship was a perfect follow-up to Orton and Jeff Hardy. WWE has been pushing Becky Lynch in a way where she has this no bullshit, Stone Cold-esque attitude, okay? And for the fucking idiots on social media, I'm going to say this again, and I don't know who the fuck is watching this show that thinks Becky Lynch is a heel, but my God, before you fucking type anything, will you fucking watch the show and grow a brain first? Becky Lynch is not a heel. She was never a heel. Never. I don't care what was said. I don't care how she was portrayed. She was never a heel. Becky Lynch is a babyface. But WWE has been just going on and on and on about pushing Charlotte and Becky in a way where Road Dogg simply said, we just want you to cheer for whoever you want to cheer for. If you want Charlotte, cheer for Charlotte. If you want Becky, cheer for Becky. Meanwhile, WWE, they tried to do something that was outlandish with Becky. It failed miserably, and WWE fans, smart enough to realize that this is not what we want. The fuck are you trying to do here? Spin the narrative in your way, meanwhile you're fucking us over. WWE fans realized, we don't want to cheer for Charlotte, we want to cheer for Becky. We have no reason to cheer Charlotte. Charlotte stabbed Becky in the back. Charlotte took from Becky. Becky deserves the championship. 2.5 years, she deserves the championship. Who are fans going to side with? Charlotte, who's been given everything undeservedly, or Becky, who's got nothing for the last 2.5 years? You do the math. It's not that difficult to figure out. WWE did the unthinkable here. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon, but WWE did it. I predicted that Becky was going to lose this match by fuckery, and she was going to get her rematch at Super Showdown. And then something stupid would happen there, and she would finally get her rematch at Evolution. WWE decided, well, you know, the fans want to fucking bitch and moan and complain. Well, we're going to give them what they want. Let's see them fucking complain after this one. Becky Lynch wins the fucking championship. Becky Lynch is your new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. And the match that we got, probably the third best women's match of the year on the main roster. Because there's two other matches ahead of this that I actually enjoyed more. Asuka and Charlotte at WrestleMania. And the wrong woman won that match. And above that one was Sasha Banks and Asuka on Monday Night Raw earlier in the year. That was before Asuka got drafted to SmackDown Live. So, all I have to say is that Becky and Charlotte put on a damn good fucking match worthy of the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. At least the SmackDown Women's Championship is slightly elevated. My God, this is what we need to see. Now, for all those people who want to be on the Carmella bandwagon, if Carmella was in this match with either one of these women, this wouldn't have been anywhere near as good. So having Carmella clearly away from the championship has already elevated the title. And if you don't see that, then you're fucking blind. This was a great fucking match. Great match. With Becky winning the title. At the end of this thing, Flair and Lynch trading shots. Flair just lighting up Becky with knife-edge chops that look really fucking good. Becky unloads with forearm shots. Becky drops Flair on her shoulder, but Flair kicks out. Fans starting to chant Becky. Becky goes to the top, misses a missile dropkick. That was a bad-looking spot. It looked like Becky... It looked like Becky didn't even go for the missile dropkick. It's like she just kind of fell off the top rope and laid on her back so Charlotte could get the next hold. So Flair catches her and turns it into a Boston Crab. There was no evidence of a missile dropkick at all on behalf of Becky Lynch. Becky makes it to the bottom rope, breaks the hold. Becky goes to the floor, slams Flair's shoulder into the ring post. Becky brings it back into the ring. She goes right for the disarm her, but Flair gets to the ropes, and Becky tries to keep the hold applied, and the referee is about to disqualify her, and she keeps the hold applied to a 4.5, getting that extra damage on Charlotte's arm. So Becky holds it, like I said, to a 4.5. Becky comes right back, but Flair elbows Becky in the face. She goes for a spear, but Becky catches her and turns it into a roll-up. And it's a 1, 2, 3. And Becky Lynch wins the SmackDown Live Women's Championship clean. Now, there is a rematch coming, I am sure, at Super Showdown. I am 1,000% positive. At this point, I don't know what's going to happen at Super Showdown, but I will say this. 2 things in closing here. This was a great match, okay? 2 things in closing. Number 1, WWE gave the title to Becky Lynch. I pray to whatever God is shining down upon us that the title is not flip-flopped back and forth in some hot potato fashion. I don't want that. We don't need it. I don't want this to be another Charlotte, Sasha Banks situation. Becky's the champion. You keep her as the champion. People want Becky, so give us Becky. Charlotte should have never been in this situation anyway. As far as I'm concerned, Charlotte was gifted this situation. Simple as that. Now, the second thing I want to point out here. I thought WWE, I had this fucking fear. WWE was going to book Becky to cheat and win the championship, trying to get that heel heat back on Becky. They did this again, or at least tried to, post-match. Charlotte, after the pinfall, was laying against the ropes, crying. Okay? So Becky there, as she should, celebrating, holding up the title, not giving a fuck. She did what she said she was going to do, win the championship. She was confident in her ability. Now, with Charlotte laying against the ropes, give me 1 second. Charlotte laying against the ropes. My cat's trying to get into her fucking litter box. I got the fucking closet closed. Charlotte laying against the ropes. She gets up and she goes over to Becky Lynch and she tries to shake her hand. And Becky does not extend her hand to shake Charlotte's hand. She holds the title up. And Becky walks away, and there are some boos, and there are some cheers. Now, I don't know what that was supposed to accomplish, but I hope WWE does not extend on that and try and make Becky a heel by walking away from the handshake. Trying to build sympathy for Charlotte. Oh, look at Becky. Look at the fucking bitch that Becky Lynch is, walking away from Charlotte, who all she wanted was respect and a handshake. I hope not on Tuesday. I hope not. If I was booking this, I would have made Charlotte attack Becky after the match the same way Becky attacked Charlotte at SummerSlam. I would have made it clear cut. Charlotte's the heel, Becky's the babyface. That's what I would have did. In fact, I was expecting Charlotte to attack Becky Lynch. That didn't happen. So I hope that Becky walking away from the handshake is not perceived as a bitch and a heel on SmackDown Live this coming Tuesday. That's all I want to point out. I didn't like that. I'm glad that Becky didn't shake her hand because I want to see badass Stone Cold Becky. But Charlotte needs to be a heel. There's no doubt in my mind Charlotte needs to be a heel. Okay? If we're going to continue this, there needs to be a clear cut. I'm tired of pick and choose who you want. No. WWE is not going to turn Charlotte heel. I understand that. But in this manner, in this role, Charlotte is the better heel. And Becky is not a heel. She's a babyface. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Moving on here, man. The Raw Tag Team titles, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. One thing I want to point out before I even get into this fantastic fucking match. WWE has a tendency to just go on and say Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are the Shield. Right? They are the Shield. They were known as the Shield in this match. They were built up as the Shield in this match. In fact, it was the Shield and Ziggler and McIntyre. That's the way the match was hyped. I don't understand why WWE says they are the Shield, but then continues to have Ambrose and Rollins come out to separate theme musics, and they don't come out to the original Shield theme, and they're not dressed in Shield gear. They're dressed in singles gear. Rollins is wearing his Monday Night Rollins shit, and Ambrose is wearing his Ambrose Asylum shit. They're not dressed in the Riot gear. They're not dressed in vests. They're not dressed in matching attire. I ask why. Now, this may be a small criticism, but I don't think anybody listening to me is going to disagree with me. If they're the Shield, then present them as the Shield. I don't get this notion that when Roman is not there, they're not the Shield. And I'm going to use this analogy again because I used it last year when this same shit happened during TLC. Okay? When Optimus Prime is not there leading the Autobots, are they still the Autobots? Of course they are. Who's going to take over? It's going to be Hot Rod or Ultra Magnus. In some cases, Bumblebee. Are the Decepticons not the Decepticons? If Megatron is not there? No, of course. They're the Decepticons. Starscream's going to take over. Or Soundwave's going to take over. What is this shit? When Roman is not there, they're not the Shield. When Roman is there, then they come out with the Shield music? Come on, man. They do it for Roman. Fuck them. Feed them to Roman. Anyway, moving on here. This match was everything that I've been praying for on Monday Night Raw and their tag team division. Everything. This is what happens when you take the titles off the B team. This is what happens when you have members of your Raw roster who hold championships that carry themselves legitimately as champions. For months, the tag team championships have been a joke on Monday Night Raw. Now look at where they are. I mean, there's no teams in the division as it is, but, I mean, if we're getting matches like this, I mean, my God, what the fuck have they been doing for the entirety of the summer? I don't believe the B team were tag team champions. Not once in their reign did we get matches like this. Why? This is tag team wrestling. When the B team had the titles, it was a fucking circus. I was waiting for clowns to come out. I was waiting for fucking some idiot to come out of the fucking crowd wearing a flower on his shirt, just start squirting little kids in the fucking crowd, handing balloons out, making fucking balloon animals. What is this shit? This is tag team wrestling here. This was single-handedly the best tag team match on the main roster. And main roster, hear my words, main roster. Main roster. Because NXT, with what they've done with the tag team division down there, and tag team matches in general, very difficult to kind of one-up NXT right now with their tag team division. This was the best tag team match on the entire main roster all fucking year. And look at the guys you got in this match. I mean, I don't know how you could go about not having the best tag team match of the year with these guys involved. Rollins, Ambrose, Ziggler, McIntyre. Now, outside of my small criticism about them not being Shield, you know, the one thing that bothers me here is Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion. And it seems like the Intercontinental Championship is kind of taking a back seat. And I'm not talking about a back seat in my Mustang where it's still a good seat and you're sitting in a beautiful car. Now, this is a back seat on a fucking school bus. Okay? You got the popular kid sitting up front, sucking up to the fucking teacher, and then you got the fucking goons in the back. That's where the fucking idiots are, spitting spitballs and fucking jerking off to fucking Pornhub on their iPhones away from the fucking teacher. You got the losers sitting in the back. That's where the Intercontinental title is. It's not in the back seat of my Mustang. It's in the back seat of a fucking cheese bus. Going nowhere. Going straight to detention. Or the correction hall. Or fucking Rikers Island somewhere. I don't fucking know. The Intercontinental title is a complete fucking waste. I mean, it's on Seth Rollins. Great. What has Seth Rollins done with the Intercontinental title since beating Dolph Ziggler for it at SummerSlam? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why this title is not on Elias, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, somebody, anybody but Rollins. What is this title doing on Rollins? Nothing. Nothing. And it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be in anything important moving forward. I mean, WWE's already announced the main event for Super Showdown. It's going to be the Shield versus the Dogs of War. Apparently their name is now. Ziggler, McIntyre, and Strowman. And then I'm hearing rumors that this 6-man feud is going to go through Survivor Series and it's going to go through TLC. So where is the Intercontinental title going to be defended? Maybe in Dreamland. Maybe in Dreamland. You know when the next time the Intercontinental title is going to be defended? In Universe mode with WWE 2K19. That's when we'll get the next real Intercontinental Championship match. This match was fucking fantastic. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Both teams were about to get counted out. They barely make the 8 count. I believe it was Rollins and Ziggler making the 8 count, while Ambrose and McIntyre were on the outside. Rollins counters a DDT by Ziggler back in the ring, and he turned it into a Falcon's Arrow. He muscled Dolph Ziggler up from a DDT position in one fluid motion. Ziggler's feet did not hit the fucking floor. In one motion into a Falcon Arrow. Beautiful spot. So Rollins does his HBK impersonation where he's getting the crowd to chant, "Burn it down." He starts signaling for the stomp. I guess that's the name of it. I thought it was called the blackout. The stomp? Come on, bro. You got to come up with a better name than just the stomp. Rollins is about to hit it. Ziggler evades. So Rollins goes for a buckle bomb instead. 2 count. McIntyre breaks it up. Ambrose runs in, and he gets involved with Drew McIntyre. You know, speaking of which, I had some fucking idiot on social media tonight during the show, because I made fun of Alexa Bliss, say that Drew McIntyre is boring. This guy was in one of the best matches of the fucking year for WWE. He's boring? At least he looks like a fucking champion. Anyway, we get Ambrose and Drew McIntyre going at it. Drew sends him over the top rope. Ziggler and Rollins exchange roll-ups. Ziggler tried to hook the tights at one point, and Rollins still kicked out. And after that, again, one fluid motion. They go from Ambrose McIntyre fighting over the top. You got the roll-up straight back and forth with Ziggler and Rollins. And in one fluid motion, Ziggler goes for the zigzag, hits the zigzag on Rollins for a very, very, very close 2 count. Drew tags in. He goes to double team Rollins, but Ambrose pulls Ziggler to the outside. Rollins super kicks Drew. Rollins ends up going to the top and hitting a frog splash across the back of Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre kicks out. Ambrose tags in. They take Drew to the top. Big double team move. Ziggler runs in, pulls Rollins down. Rollins then tosses Ziggler to the floor. Rollins ends up landing hard on the floor as Ziggler moved out of the way. I think he went for a suicide dive. Drew takes out Ambrose from the top with a clothesline. McIntyre then kips up. 6'5", kip up. Yeah, but he's boring though, right? So Ziggler tags in for the double team in the corner, but Ambrose fights them off. Rollins tags in as Ambrose sends Drew to the outside. Rollins with a big superplex on Ziggler. Rollins holds it, goes for a Falcon Arrow, but Drew McIntyre comes in from the outside and hits the Claymore on Rollins as he's about to do a Falcon's Arrow on Ziggler. 1, 2, 3. Clean. Clean. What a fucking match. What an ending. This is tag team wrestling, folks. I don't know what the fuck WWE's been presenting us on Monday Night Raw all year. This is tag team wrestling. Now, I'll be the first to fucking tell you, this Roman Reigns initiative, this Roman Reigns bullshit, this narrative with the Shield is garbage. But I'm going to put that to the side for now and say that this match was fucking phenomenal. Absolutely outstanding. Everybody in this match deserves a fucking standing ovation, a raise. They deserve props. This was fantastic. After the match, Drew McIntyre just drags Ziggler away, carrying him on his shoulders, holding the two titles as they walk up the ramp. Great, great, great fucking shit. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. This is for the WWE Championship. You know, the WWE Championship has not main evented one single pay-per-view all year. This is another small criticism of mine, and I know some people said that this is a warranted criticism. WWE hasn't main evented one pay-per-view all year with the WWE Championship. And I understand why they didn't do it in this situation, because obviously they had Reigns and Strowman inside the Hell in a Cell. But in no way is the Universal Championship more prestigious than the WWE Championship. I mean, for the love of fucking Christ. The WWE Championship is treated like garbage compared to the Universal Championship. And the only reason for that is Roman Reigns. Now, switch the roles. Switch the roles. If Roman Reigns was carrying the WWE Championship, he wouldn't be going on middle of the show. He'd be going on last. And the Universal Championship would be in the middle of the show if it was on anybody else. It's all Roman Reigns' fault. It's ridiculous. I want the WWE Championship to be more valuable, or at least perceived to be more valuable than the Universal Championship. That's all I'm saying. And the only reason why it's not is because of Roman Reigns. Now, I understand why it's not in this instance. I'm not going to bitch and moan, oh, the WWE Championship should have main evented the show. Of course not. Not when you got Reigns and Strowman and Foley inside the structure and then Lesnar's impending return. Clearly not. But my small criticism is the WWE Championship has not been defended on pay-per-view all year in the main event. That's all I'm saying. Yet AJ Styles is 313 days in as reigning WWE Champion. Somebody get this guy in the main event. Seriously. Now, the Universal Championship is not closing the show. Or is not in the main event at Super Showdown. If this match is happening again, which it is, Styles versus Joe at Super Showdown, then this match should be the main event of that show. Especially if Joe is going to win the WWE title. That's all I'm saying about that. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles here, man. I knew going into this match that we were going to get some type of fun fuck finish. I knew we had to. We had to. Because it didn't make any sense. They already gave you a fuck finish at SummerSlam. They were quick to book the rematch here at Hell in a Cell. And if Joe lost this match clean, then he doesn't have any grounds to stand and get another rematch. So WWE had to go about this creatively and book a finish which Joe could pretty much go to management or Paige or somebody and say, I want another shot at AJ Styles. And that's exactly what they did here. A lot of people are saying justice for Joe. A lot of people are proclaiming that Joe is going to end up like Nakamura. And Nakamura didn't win the WWE Championship, and they're saying Joe is not going to win the WWE Championship. What did Hannibal Lecter say in Silence of the Lambs? Good things come to those who wait, Clarice. Wait. Have some fucking patience. There is no doubt in my mind that Samoa Joe is going to win the WWE Championship. Samoa Joe is going to win the WWE Championship in Australia, and Joe is going to be WWE Champion. He's not going to end up like Nakamura. This was a great ending. This was a great ending, and it gave WWE an out. It gave AJ Styles a chance to retain the title, and it kept AJ in the feud with Joe, and it kept Joe looking strong, and it kept Joe with that momentum that he's had ever since he started challenging AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. I love it. I thought it was great. Now, AJ started this match. You know how I criticized AJ Styles and Samoa Joe at SummerSlam, where they started off the fucking match with a test of strength, Greco-Roman knuckle lock, right? This guy's fucking berating your daughter and your wife at ringside, and you want to start the match by fucking a Greco-Roman knuckle lock. They started the match tonight that, in a different way, a way that they should have, with fucking straight punches. AJ Styles went right after Samoa Joe as soon as the bell rang. Started fucking punching him all over the place. Good. This was a physical match. It needed to be physical. And it started off slow. For the first, I'd say, third of the match, about half of the match, started off slow. Then it started to pick up. AJ springboards in from the apron, hits a big 450. Really didn't look all that good, but he hit the 450 anyway. Joe kicked out. AJ calls for the Styles Clash, but Joe counters and catapults AJ face first into the turnbuckles. Joe bounces off the ropes and floors AJ with a lariat that, I swear to fucking Christ, I still think AJ is spinning. Holy shit. AJ kicks out at a 2. AJ is bleeding from the nose. That lariat, I know for a fucking fact, did damage. So AJ is busted open, and you seen the blood get on Joe's white wrist tape. Joe goes for a muscle buster. Again, the second time in a row, it was blocked. So AJ blocked the muscle buster. Joe blocks the Styles Clash. AJ tries to pull Joe out from the corner for the calf crusher, but they keep on fighting. Now, Joe drops AJ with a stiff enziguri. He makes the cover slow, but makes the cover anyway for a 2 count. Joe then goes for a clothesline, but AJ nails a Pele kick. Joe dumps AJ to the apron, but nails AJ with a forearm. AJ springboards in with a phenomenal forearm, but Joe catches him on the way down and applies the coquina clutch. Great fucking spot. Great spot. AJ stops it from being fully locked in. Joe then drops down. AJ floats over with the hold still applied. And Joe is pinned while the hold is still applied, and AJ gets the win. 1, 2, 3. All of a sudden, we see Samoa Joe get up and raise his hand as if he thinks he won. The bell rings, and Joe didn't know what was going on. He raises his hands. He thinks he won. And AJ's music goes off. The announcement that AJ won is made, and Joe was like, what the fuck? AJ just tapped out. So we're all wondering, what the fuck is he talking about? AJ tapped out. He's proclaiming to the referee as Joe. AJ tapped out. What are you doing? How did you miss it? So we see an opposite replay. We see the reverse camera side. AJ was in the hold, and as the referee was making the 1, 2, at the 2 count, AJ quickly tapped out to the coquina clutch as he was in the pin, because the hold was still applied. AJ struggled through the coquina clutch until the 3 count was made, but he tapped out at 2. That's Joe's out. That's Joe's out. I thought it was fucking great. It needed to be a fuck finish. Now, I know we've seen that particular pinning combination done a little bit too much in recent memory, especially in the last couple of months. Everybody's done it. But I thought it was great how AJ retained. Joe has a legitimate gripe because he was right, and he's getting a rematch at the Super Showdown. This time, it's no holds barred. So, if Joe doesn't win the title, I would be downright shocked. Joe is going to win the title in Australia. AJ is going to get his rematch at SmackDown 1000. Joe is going to hold the title till TLC. That is where The Miz is going to win the title. I'm keeping my booking situation on that intact. Joe is going to win it in Australia. He's going to have a few months with the title because he certainly fucking deserves it. That's where AJ is going to kind of still linger around. The Miz is going to win TLC. I think it's going to be Bryan, Miz, Styles, and Joe. If not Bryan, it may be a triple threat match between Miz, Styles, and Joe. And Bryan may feud with Nakamura in the meantime, because Nakamura has nobody to feud with. And Miz is going to win the WWE Championship. That's my prediction on that. So we'll see what happens. But this was a great match. Kind of boring in the first, I think, 10, 11 minutes. Towards the end of this thing, it really picked up pace. I can't wait to see what these two guys do with no holds barred in Australia. That's going to be a great fucking match. AJ retains the title in a fuck finish as he taps out, but the referee did not see it. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Another match in which WWE kind of pulled the rug over our eyes. Now, all signs pointed to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella winning this match, but that was not the case. The Miz and Maurice win this match, and they go on to pull out a victory by the skin of their ass over Daniel Bryan and The Miz. Now, I was going under the impression that Daniel Bryan was at least going to get one win over The Miz before The Miz goes on to capture the WWE Championship. I thought this was going to be that night. I thought this was going to be that situation. Because these two are fighting, again, in Australia. And it's for a #1 contendership for the WWE title, where I think The Miz is going to win. Now, with the outcome of this match, it looks like Daniel Bryan is not going to get a win over The Miz. And it may happen at the biggest stage of them all at WrestleMania. That's what it appears like. That's what it seems like here with WWE. You know, the babyface is going to fail, and he's going to feel slighted and defeated. And The Miz is going to go on to relish in what Daniel Bryan can't do, and Bryan's going to win the big one when it matters most. That's the story I see that they're telling here. Or at least, I think they're trying to tell. But as far as this match goes, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was entertaining for what it was. It was a basic mixed tag team match here. Miz and Maurice win. Miz counters a Irish whip on Daniel Bryan and whips Bryan into the barricade. Brie is on the outside, tackles Maurice. Brie with a missile dropkick from the second rope back in the ring on Maurice as Miz breaks up the pin. I kind of got mixed up. I put Brie on a missile dropkick on the Miz by accident. That would have been something, huh? But a missile dropkick on Maurice. Miz breaks up the 2 count. Bryan runs back in and beats Miz into the corner. Bryan is yelling at The Miz. Nobody puts their hands on my wife. They now have Miz and Maurice on their knees in the middle of the ring, and they both, as a couple, start doing the yes kicks in the middle of the ring. Miz and Maurice avoid the final kick, where everybody was just getting ready for the big final kick on both ends. Miz and Maurice back out and roll out of the ring, and they walk up the ramp. They want to quit the match. Brie and Bryan run after them and attack them from behind. Brie brings Maurice back into the ring. Brie yells out in the most cringe-like fucking fashion, Brie mode. I can't stand it. I fucking just turn away in disgust every time I hear it. She sends Maurice into the ropes for a knee to the face. The same knee that she knocks Zelina Vega out of the ring with. I'm sure concussed her. Maurice accidentally knocks Miz out of the ring. Brie tries to take advantage with a roll-up. Maurice turns that into a pin attempt. A sloppy one at that. Everywhere Brie goes, it's botch mode. And Brie is pinned for the win. Miz and Maurice win. They get one over and squeeze another one out over Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Where this goes from here, I don't know. I'm sure it will continue. But Daniel Bryan and The Miz have a match in Australia in 3 weeks for the #1 contendership for the WWE Championship. Like I said, I am assuming that Daniel Bryan is going to go on to lose that match as well, because I don't see Bryan in the world title picture as of yet. Or WWE could just fuck us over again and give us something that we aren't expecting, and Bryan does win, and then we get Bryan and Joe for the WWE Championship going on into the final months of the year. But I don't see that as being the ideal situation for Bryan. I would rather wait for Bryan to win the Rumble and then win the title at WrestleMania. That is just me. Oh, my goodness. The amount of people I made salty with this one, folks. Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. I don't have much to say here. This was by far the worst match on the show. This was by far Ronda Rousey's worst match since being an in-ring performer in WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. I want all Alexa Bliss fanboys and fangirls to open up your ears and keep your eyes right here as I speak to you. Alexa Bliss is garbage. She's not a champion. She's not a good wrestler. She got by based on her looks alone and her mouth in more ways than one. And this was, by far, Ronda Rousey's worst match ever. Simple as that. I don't want to hear that it takes two to tango. I don't want to hear that Alexa and Ronda were equals. No. I'm sorry, folks. Alexa Bliss needs to be far away from the championship. This is it. I don't give a fuck what you say. She is garbage. Simple as that. I don't know how else you want me to nicely put it to you. Ronda Rousey had a better match with Stephanie McMahon and Nia Jax. What the fuck does that say about Alexa Bliss? When Stephanie McMahon had a better match than Alexa Bliss with Ronda Rousey. Just take it and just take your L. Take your L, Alexa fans. Nia Jax and Stephanie McMahon had a better match than Alexa Bliss with Ronda Rousey. This was an overbooked fucking circus act. This match was way overbooked. It took Natalya, Mickey, Alicia, and Alexa to help Ronda through this match. All to sell. Actually, let me rephrase that. Ronda was not perfect in this match. Ronda is still green. Ronda is getting better. But Alexa should be that much better, and she's not. So it took all these women to help Alexa get through Ronda Rousey. Or at least portray Alexa as having some sort of offense against Ronda Rousey. This was pathetic. I don't give a shit if Ronda Rousey has one arm. I don't give a shit if Ronda Rousey has a completely busted up rib cage. I don't give a shit if Ronda Rousey is fucking dead. Lifeless. Remember the scene from Mortal Kombat when Shang Tsung has that fucking, that goon that is befriending Johnny Cage in the arena? That token black guy, right? He's like a decent fighter, and then he is competing in the tournament, and Goro comes out and just fucking offers him up to Shang Tsung, and Shang Tsung says, "Finish him." And Goro lifts one of his fucking arms and just fucking clubs him like the Great Khali. And then Shang Tsung is standing there off the throne as Goro is lifting him up with his forearms as sacrifice. And Shang Tsung takes his fucking soul. Ronda Rousey could look like that and still put on a better match than Alexa Bliss. This was awful. This was absolutely fucking awful. An overbooked circus. You mean to tell me I'm supposed to sit here and believe Alexa Bliss has offense that's going to match Ronda Rousey? Come on, people. Come on, people. And then you're going to have the fucking idiots on social media. Alexa Bliss. She's a queen. She's a goddess. Ronda fucked up. It's unfair. What do you mean it's unfair? Ronda Rousey is the head of this division. Get used to it. Ronda Rousey's holding the title captive. Get used to it. Everybody's going to suffer. Sasha's suffering. Mickey's suffering. Alexa is suffering. Nia is suffering. Bayley is suffering. Ruby Riott, Ember Moon, they're all suffering. Evolution's built around one person only. That's Ronda Rousey. But that doesn't excuse the fact that Alexa Bliss is fucking garbage. Her offense is trash. And like I said, what does it say about Alexa Bliss when Nia Jax had a better match with Ronda Rousey? And that was Ronda Rousey's first pay-per-view match outside of WrestleMania, one-on-one. Your goddess is nothing more than a mere servant. Deck the halls, Alexa! That mop looks fucking real good in the mop bucket. Swab the deck. Bottom of the barrel, honey. Moving on. Ronda Rousey wins with a fucking armbar. Moving on from this fucking nightmare women's championship match. Now we get Nikki Bella. It doesn't get any better for us from here on out, folks. It only gets worse. Universal Championship. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. I got news. Haven't said that in a while. While Braun Strowman has cashed in his Money in the Bank contract with so much notice. Now, obviously, Braun Strowman did this while being a babyface. That same night, he turned heel. And he proceeded to just showcase to everyone how much of a fucking idiot he is. On that particular Monday Night Raw, Braun Strowman held the briefcase for just a couple of hours. He'd be standing here as Universal Champion. But not. Strowman is a heel. He was fed to the Roman Empire. He was sacrificed to the Roman Empire. He is a heel, and now he is a part of the Dogs of War stable with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Brian Alvarez opened up on this subject during the Wrestling Observer Live this weekend, where he explained why WWE have gone this direction as to not kill a top heel, but also keep their big dog as Universal Champion. He says, and I quote, "To me, you're a geek." I love Alvarez. "To me, you're a geek if you do the out-of-nowhere cash-in and fail. Because when you do that out of nowhere and cash in, the whole idea is the other guy already had a match and he is unprepared for it, so you should win." But Braun Strowman, and this was somehow part of his heel turn, he challenged Roman Reigns to a match 4 weeks in advance. So technically it's a cash-in, but it's not. They're both going in fresh. It's a different kind of match, so I think Braun Strowman can and will lose this match. I don't think it's going to hurt him. Only time will tell what WWE does in this situation. After all, anything can happen and plans can get changed on a dime for any reason backstage with Vince McMahon in charge. He could even read this article and decide to go another direction. But WWE clearly had other intentions in mind tonight. And that did not include Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. But it certainly did include Brock Lesnar. For the first time in WWE history, a Hell in a Cell match ended in a no contest. We got all the typical circus acts. We got people fighting on top of the cage. We got people falling off the cage. Whether it was off the side of the cage, reminiscent of Shawn Michaels at the first ever Hell in a Cell, or fighting on top of the cage like Mick Foley and The Undertaker. We got it all. We even got the fucking Hell in a Cell door busted in, a la Kane, by Brock Lesnar, who returned to WWE programming. So, this match was complete garbage up until the ending of the match, where we seen Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose again for a second time tonight just come on in and just interject themselves into this match. Ziggler wanted the door open. The referee was like, "No, you can't get in." So Ambrose and Rollins come out. There's a chase around ringside. Apparently, they're climbing up the fucking cage because where else the fuck you gonna go? Tables are getting destroyed on the outside. They're up top fighting. Ambrose is on the outside. He's climbing the cage with a kendo stick. There's brawling on the top of the cage. Then the people come down off the cage, and then we get the obligatory table spot where Ziggler and Rollins go through the table simultaneously. One goes through the German announce table, the other goes through the American announce table. Whatever the case may be, it's a Hell in a Cell with the typical Hell in a Cell spots. The one thing I didn't like about the Ziggler-Rollins fall off the cage was that Rollins was knocked off the cage. Ziggler kind of just jumped and said, oh shit, Rollins is falling. Well, let me fucking fall with him so it looks equally as bad. Ziggler could have remained on the side of the cage while Rollins fell to his fucking death, but he decided to jump off the cage regardless and join Rollins in the table debris down below. That was a little silly. So that was the spot there, and then all of a sudden, we get Brock Lesnar coming on out, and he is arguing with the referee to open the cage. Open the cage, open the cage, open the cage. Lesnar is standing there, clearly looking different. He's looking a little thinner. He's looking a little bit more grizzly. He's got a full-blown beard. Brock Lesnar with a beard looks even more intimidating than Brock Lesnar without a beard. He looks fucking beast. I like him with the beard. He's now sporting a beard. He don't wait for the referee to give the key to Heyman. He just fucking kicks the door in. He kicks the door in. He places the door adjacent to the floor and the ring rope. He runs up the steel door and the cage and does a leapfrog over the top rope. So he's in the match. At this point, Strowman and Roman Reigns are sleeping. Strowman was gassed 10 minutes into this match. And Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. He's just knocked out. So Lesnar enters the cell, hops the ring rope. He's staring at Reigns and Strowman. Heyman then is arguing with Foley on the outside. He sprays mace in Foley's eyes. And by the way, Mick Foley counted 3 on Roman Reigns in this match, early in the match. I believe Braun Strowman did a power slam on Roman Reigns, and he counted 1, 2, 3. It was clear as day, 3 count. So, by all accounts, Braun Strowman was robbed of the Universal Championship in this match by the inept ref, Mick Foley. I guess too many fucking chair shots to the head made him unable to count to 3 correctly. So Mick Foley fucked Braun Strowman over, but that's neither here or there. I'm sure that will be swept under the rug. Braun Strowman is laying on his back. Roman Reigns is laying on his back. Lesnar is in the ring now. He beats both Strowman and Reigns with a table debris. Now, Reigns speared Strowman into a table. So, if you're wondering where he got the table debris, there was pieces of table laying around the ring after the spear, and Lesnar proceeded to break those pieces of table over Strowman's back and over Roman Reigns' chest. I legitimately feared for both men. Lesnar was swinging to kill somebody with that table piece. He broke the fucking piece of table over Strowman's back. He broke a piece of table over Reigns' chest. Both of these guys gotta be fucking hurt with the way Lesnar was swinging those with those table pieces. So he scoops Strowman up and drops him with an F5, and fans are chanting for Suplex City. Remember, folks, Roman is not over. Okay? We get Suplex City chants. Lesnar scoops Reigns up, hits him with an F5. He then scoops Strowman up for an F5, and he dumps Reigns on top of Strowman. He dumps Reigns on top of Strowman. Now, this is where the stupidity comes into play. We get another referee into the match. Referee calls for a no contest. Now, all Strowman had to do was roll over and cover Reigns. That was it. And he pretends that he's knocked out, that he can't get up. The guy walked away from a fucking ambulance crash, limping away, dragging blood like a wounded animal, when Roman Reigns tried to fucking murder Braun Strowman. And you can't get up and cover Roman Reigns after a fucking F5? Are you out of your mind, WWE? This is where the stupidity comes in. You see, this is where a great pay-per-view goes horribly wrong. Illogical booking. So the referee calls for a no contest. Brock Lesnar is back. Apparently he's staying with the WWE for God knows how long. Probably through October. They might want him at the Super Showdown. They might want him at Survivor Series. I don't know. Either way you look at it, Brock Lesnar is back with the WWE. The Universal Championship has been utterly worthless around Roman Reigns' shoulder. The guy is not a fighting champion. He's not a workhorse by any stretch of the imagination. And Brock Lesnar is back. Like my friend Jesse said tonight via text, the Universal Championship had more prestige sitting on Brock Lesnar's kitchen countertop than it does on Roman Reigns' shoulder. I cannot disagree with that statement. The Universal title is fucking garbage. It is worthless. Brock Lesnar is back. You know, it's funny how Roman Reigns won the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. And the inevitable was bound to happen. He did it. Okay, fine. Let's move on. Roman Reigns is the champion. Now we can look forward to who he's going to lose it to. Never in my wildest imaginations did I want to see Lesnar come back and now want to see him win, again, the Universal Championship just to take it off Roman Reigns' hands. It's a vicious cycle that we go through. 1 minute we don't want Lesnar, and now that he's back, we don't want Reigns as champion. It's a never-ending fucking cycle. It's a vicious fucking cycle. And I'm not even going to complain about the way that they ended this match. They pretty much had to. They had to end this match in this manner. Because if you didn't, if Strowman cashed in, do you know the damage that would have did to Braun Strowman? Not only to Braun Strowman, but it would have completely wasted the Money in the Bank. So now at least the Money in the Bank was not wasted. Lesnar said, fuck your Money in the Bank and fuck you, Roman. I'm coming back because I'm owed a rematch. So if Strowman lost, that would have ultimately wasted the Money in the Bank. It would have wasted Braun Strowman. Strowman would have never gotten another shot at the Universal Championship, at least in the foreseeable future, and he would have been delegated to nothing but a fucking circus act, destroying shit on Monday Night Raw, just in an uncreative manner, and he'd be floating around in the mid-card, waiting for Roman to lose the title. He'd be another giant on Monday Night Raw with no fucking direction if he lost this match. So, I'm not even going to complain all that much, because with Strowman in this no contest with Reigns, it at least gives them an out for not beating Strowman. Now Lesnar's back. Paul Heyman mentioned to Kurt Angle, we want a rematch. We want a rematch at Hell in a Cell. You ain't getting a rematch at Hell in a Cell. But he showed up at Hell in a Cell anyway. So now it's going to be a very interesting Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Will we see Lesnar? Probably. We're going to need to know why he was there and the explanation as to why he did what he did. Undertaker's going to be there to come out and just, I guess, address Triple H after last week. And we got Strowman and Roman Reigns being fucked over by Brock Lesnar. So either way you look at it, it's going to be quite the newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw. But I'm not going to complain too much about this ending just based on Strowman alone. You could not beat Strowman in this match. Reigns could not have beaten Strowman in this match. But other than that, other than the Lesnar spot at the end, this match was a waste. Everything you've seen in this match, you've seen inside a regular match. Everything you've seen from fighting on top of the cage with the Shield and McIntyre, Ziggler, you've seen already inside of Hell in a Cell. Ziggler and Rollins fell off the cage just like Shawn Michaels did in the first ever Hell in a Cell. It was nothing creative here. They didn't push the boundaries of Hell in a Cell. And this was for the Universal title. They did not push the boundaries to give you a good match, and they didn't push the boundaries inside a Hell in a Cell for the Universal title in the main event of this pay-per-view. Meanwhile, Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy fought over nothing and made Hell in a Cell worthy of Hell in a Cell more so than these guys did for the Universal Championship. What does that say about Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and the state of the Universal title? That is your Hell in a Cell review, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed the review, hit that thumbs up. If you want to check out anything else I did this weekend, please do so. Everything is linked in the top right corner of that screen. Leave a comment down below. Interact with each other. Let me know what you guys think of this pay-per-view. And I will see you right here tomorrow afternoon for part 3 of episode 239 Off the Script. There's a lot of news to go over. We're going to cover it tomorrow, and then Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. We are on our way to 98,000 subscribers. halfway there. Let's try and get there with this review. Thank you guys so very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Off the Script, and then tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. I'll talk to you later.